Welcome to the Tune-Up, your Wednesday night Bible study. Each week we gather together to tune in to the Word of God, learning and growing as we study how to apply God's Word in our everyday lives. Join us at 7:30 for this powerful Bible study experience. And now, let's get ready for Tune-Up.
What up, what up, what up, what up? We are back for another Tune-Up podcast, streaming live, courtesy of Global Outreach Church, aka Go Church, where our vision is to build a Jesus community to serve the globe. Every Wednesday, we get together for the sole purpose of, again, reviewing the message from Sunday, talking about real life, all that good stuff. And this Wednesday, we are reviewing the message by Pastor Lanre, which is Best Way Forward Part 2. And joining us, as you know, we got Salvation, my lovely wife. We got East Hot, my brother, and my dear sister, Taylor. Tania, who would always join us. She is taking tonight off to just get some relaxation in and spend time with the family. And so, you know what I'm saying, she wishes us well, and she will be tuning in. And of course, we will be roasting her from time to time, but that's how we do it. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's not how we do. That's how you do. I'm not
roasting
my sister.
Okay.
She can my book.
It's all good. It's all good.
There's no teamwork in the roasting.
Hey, so thank you so much for joining me this awesome Wednesday. A big shout out to those of you who have joined us by streaming live for this discussion, whether you hitting us by Facebook or YouTube or the Global Outreach Go Church app. By the way, if you have not got that app, if you did not get the app, if you haven't downloaded it to your Android, to your iPhone, you are behind the times. You are so 1960s. We are in 2025. Go Church app is the hottest app on the planet. Make sure you get it. It will inform you on everything that we're doing, making sure that you are kept abreast of all the changes and you know what's up. So make sure you get that Go Church app. And of course, you know, we are over 1,000 subscribers, and so we're constantly building. The next goal is to get to 10,000. So if you haven't, please make sure that you like, you share, and you subscribe. Tell a friend, tell all your friends, tell your family, tell your peoples, everybody that you know, people down the street, people in your house, whoever. Make sure that everybody has liked, shared, and subscribed to this channel. It is growing, and it's growing. And today, first and foremost, before we get to the guests, if you feel moved by the Spirit, feel led by the Lord to give to this wonderful, wonderful ministry platform, all the good stuff, Go Church related, please scan that QR code at the top. It will take you to the link in which you can make an offering towards or a contribution towards the ministry as a whole, and we would gladly appreciate it. You never know how far a dollar goes. And now, I want us to welcome to the stage, welcome to the platform for the very first time. This is my homie. This is my little brother. This is one of the young people who's going to make a mark in this world. He's going to change this world, and we're going to make a whole lot of money together because he's going to give me some of his money. You know what I'm saying? So I want y'all to please make some noise for Enoch Fabiyi.
Yeah, Enoch.
What's going on, brother Enoch? What's up with you, man?
I'm good. Thank you guys for having me tonight. I really appreciate
it. Thank you for participating. Thank you for wanting to join and all that good stuff, taking out time in your busy schedule. Love to have you here. And just before we get started, I just want you to tell us a little bit about yourself, you know.
Yes.
All right. My name is Enoch. I'm an incoming freshman at Georgia Tech, and I'm going to be majoring in aerospace engineering. And that's just a little bit about me.
That's what I'm talking about. Y'all hear that? He an incoming freshman at Georgia Tech.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Now, he could have picked Georgia State. Don't know why he turned down Georgia State. But Georgia Tech,
Really?
that is awesome, brother. That is awesome. Aerospace engineering. Whew.
Yes.
This brother
I,
trying
I,
to
I
go
got
out of
I got
space.
sharpshooters on both sides. Yep.
This brother trying to
Yep.
go out of space. You know what I'm saying? He's like, man, Earth is not comfortable for me no more. I want to go to Mars. You know, I want to build some houses on Mars. You know, real estate up there. That's what I'm talking about, brother. We just really appreciate you. Just
Yes.
thank you so very much again for joining us, and really just want to go to some of the comment sections for people that are tuning in. We got brother Toby. He said, "Good evening, good evening, good evening, brother Toby." You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
Appreciate you
Toby.
for comments and always checking in every Wednesday. I'm pretty sure this Wednesday is very special to you, and I'm not gonna say anything much more than that. You know what I'm saying? And Pastor IBK coming in at number 2. Good
Two.
evening, Tune Up family. How's your day going? Hey there, Dr. Jackson. That's what I'm talking about. The love is pouring in. My arch nemesis. Hi, Taylor. Great to see you. Hi, everyone but Lee. You see the hate? You see the hate? You know what I'm saying? You see the hate. Listen, I have gotten used to the hate. You know, if Superman could come out with so many films against Lex Luthor, then I can get used to the fact that Revelation don't like me. It's all good. You know what I'm saying? It is all good. It is all good. Pastor IBK says, "Good to see you all." Hey, brother Ishak, hold on. When you do finish your birthday celebration, looking forward to seeing you in person. Okay,
Hey.
that
There
is
we go.
true. Brother Ishak had a birthday just recently. He turned
Yeah,
what,
it was a back to back. It was
85?
my it was my birthday, and then it was Anaya's was the following Sunday. So
That's
we 7
true.
Yep.
days apart. Yeah, so
Back to back.
well
You know
6
what I'm
days.
saying?
Excuse me, 6 days apart. So yeah, well
That's what I'm
5 days
talking.
apart actually. Yeah.
Turn 90. Man, God bless you. You know what
Hey,
I'm
look,
saying?
I'm trying to get there. You better believe it. Look, I'm trying to get there.
I ain't bad, man. God bless you. Happy birthday to you and Anaya as well. Arch Nemesis came back to say, "Okay, KKK, Enoch." You know what I'm saying? That's right. That's right.
Okay,
The
we got some
boy's in the
love going
building.
on.
You know what I'm saying? The brother is in the building. Pastor IBC said, my young pastor and yellow jacket rocket scientist Enoch, good to see you. That's
Yep.
right. That's right. Nadia checking in. She says, "Good evening, all."
Good evening.
Brother O'Doon says, "Hello, family. What's up, sir? Good to see you. Good to see your comments and all that good stuff." Ebony J. Hi, Taylor. Hello, everyone. What's up,
Hey,
Ebony?
Ebony.
It's good to see you. Good to see you.
Ebony
Hopefully,
J.
we're going to get some really great comments coming in. We appreciate all of y'all for tuning in. Really
Yes.
appreciate it. And so as we always do, just checking in with everyone. How's everybody feeling based on what you saw on Sunday, you experienced Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? How is everybody feeling? We're gonna start off with Brother Ishaq, who finally showed up. You know what I'm saying? He finally showed up. He ain't scared today. All right.
Hey man, it's a great day. It's been a great couple of weeks. The message was very strong, and I think that it was a great cap for the previous message. I know he mentioned how him and Sister Sumba were kind of, had the dialogue of, but I agree that it's what we just went over, God's workmanship. That was maybe the beginning of it, but we don't have to stop there. And so, and that's something that I've been really trying and focusing on implementing in my life personally. So it came in right on time, is not just being comfortable or complacent, right? But being recognizing that greatness is okay, and it's okay to strive for it, and that excellence is the mark. It's not necessarily something that's wrong in any way. So I really appreciate it, especially from a standpoint of life and also from my business and things of that nature. So it was right on time.
Yep.
Awesome. Who we got next? Sister Taylor, talk to me.
Yeah, just to echo Brother Ishaq, I'll say this week's message really hit home. I feel like every message speaks to me, but this one really did. Just because there's a lot changing within my job and my career. And for me to still provide excellence to the patients that I see, I have to always prepare for all of the potential possibilities that could happen during my visits with patients. So it just really makes me take what Pastor Lanre say and really apply it to every day. Like even this week, even today at work, I had a very busy day, but trying to just prepare everything and knowing that coming up with plans that will help these people are all I can do to provide excellent care. So, and also taking all of the additional steps. So after preparation, setting standards for yourself, accepting scrutiny, and collaborating. That's all I do within healthcare. So it really spoke to me, and it was just a great, great service. I was telling Toby, I was like, man, I feel like anytime I'm on the tune-up, the service really, really hits home for me that week. So it's just always perfect timing.
Love it, love it, love it. You know, we're gonna talk a little bit about when you talk about excellence and all that stuff. So I really appreciate that. To my wife, Salvation, talk to me.
The message was very good. I was gonna tell Pastor Lanre that he should not feel too bad. I was told to not bring green cups on screen anymore because on the screen I need to bring white cups now. I'm like, man, we can't even enjoy our water in peace. So at least I guess mine is easy. I'm only getting to fix my cup of water where he's getting his message critiqued in a good way. Because of course, Susumba is an awesome support, but I really liked it. One of the sayings or one of the phrases he used on there. He said, "Excellence is the sharpest billboard that announces you," and that was obviously, of course, going off from what is the definition of even excellence from the first one. We're coming in with all our abilities, all we do, so we can change the environment that we're in, and or that we any environment we encounter, and it was a good message. I know that you're going to Enoch, and I was going to even say kudos to Enoch. I think I was one of the first to log on today because of his excellent spirit and everything he does. Enoch is always coming in sharp. I mean, so like I said, I have two sharpshooters in my hand with this aerospace. I'm excited, but yep. Over to you, Enoch.
To me, the message was very good, very powerful, and also I feel like it related a lot to me this week. I could apply it to my life. So this Saturday, I'm moving into my dorm at college, and I'm about to get beginning. So when he said that, obviously preparation is one of the most important steps to that excellence. He used a specific verse that always resonates with me, and that's Proverbs 16:9, where he talked about in their hearts humans can plan their course, but it's the Lord that establishes their steps. The reason why I like that verse so much is because it tells me that, obviously I could plan, prepare, ready for class, pack all my things, X, Y, Z. I'm putting all the steps in I can do, and I'm trying to prepare the best I can. But at the end of the day, it's not up to me. It's up to the Lord to actually establish my steps. It's God that's going to guide my path and set everything for me. So I can do everything I want to do, but I just have to trust and believe that God is the one at the end of the day who's going to finish all the work for me and who's going to guide me on that path. So it just takes a lot of like the stress off of me, knowing that, I could trust in the Lord to, handle all my business for me.
Yes, sir.
That's good. That's really good. That's
man, hey, man, you coming in hot. Man, I was on fire right there, sir. I'm right now.
He deep.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So what am I supposed to say?
I told you excellence.
Man.
Preparation.
That's how you can tell he read books. You know what I'm saying? He just like he had a dissertation and a thesis ready.
That was spirit guided right there. That was on point.
He not ready. You know what I'm saying? Okay. All right. So Enoch, since you ready, let's talk about the quadratic formula. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, that would be fun. That would be a fun conversation.
It's all good. It's all good. So got some more comments coming in the chat. Got Uncle Uwan who says, great to see you guys again today. God bless you all. Uncle Uwan is like one of the folks that constantly is always keeping up with us every Wednesday, almost without fail. So I want to give him a big shout out to Uncle Uwan and his family, the Amoran family. They are just awesome people. Who else we got? Toby. Toby says, always timely, truly grateful to be a part of a community that is well fed with biblically backed word. That's right.
Amen.
That's right. We come with the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? We don't play around.
Yeah.
And Sister Linda is like,
Of
is that
course.
Enoch?
Of course.
Yes,
Any
that
of her
is
people,
Enoch.
she's gonna come in.
That is the one and that's the one and only Enoch. And soon we will get Sister Linda on here too.
Amen.
There we go.
Listen, flowers today. I want to give flowers out to Sister Linda. On Saturday, she hosted at Global Outreach the Ignite conference. I'm telling you, let me just say right now, in about, I want to say within the scope of 10 years, and I'm saying with the scope of it can happen to next year, it can happen tomorrow, it can happen whenever. Within the scope of 10 years, the Ignite conference is going to be a major conference in America for young Black kids, specifically young Black kids, but young people, period.
Yep.
I'm just saying that right now. I'm saying it right now.
I'm excited.
Linda, I hope you hear me. Send your check in the mail. I'm letting everybody know right now. Ignite, I'm telling you, no, seriously, Ignite is going to be major. It's going to be major. I don't think I have seen any college prep conferences ever. You know what I'm saying? And it comes from a need that needed to be filled, that became a vision, and it's taking on a life of its own. You know what I'm saying? You could just imagine that come next year, there's going to be people who came this year who are telling their friends right now, you need to come to the next one.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, it's going to be huge. I'm saying it right now because I believe it. You know what I'm saying? And as we dive into the discussion, when we talked about excellence and we talk about preparation, oh, this is all feeding into that. So, Pastor Lanre says, to achieve anything of significance, excellence is inevitable. Excellence does not translate to expensive, but it costs something: diligence, time, consistency, commitment, patience, money. While the lack of excellence is extremely costly, and we cannot afford to be careless about that. What do you guys think about that, real quick? You know what I'm saying? Brother Esau, shooting it over to you,
Yeah, that's pretty much as straightforward as it gets, right? Like, that's ultimately what we're all hoping for, is excellence. But how many of us are actually putting in what's required to get to that space and to that place, right? And so I like how both of these messages, part 1 and part 2, has kind of given us the blueprint or the guidelines on how to get there. Starting off with telling us that excellence is the mark of what's good, right? So we're starting off, and then once we be good is fine, right? But then let's get to great. And then once you get to great, that's our new good. And so we're always striving for what's better. But then with this one, it was, well, okay, so that's fine and dandy, but then how do we get there? And preparation being the point that he focused on the most in this message, I think it's so crucial, because especially in today's time, in today's age, we see so much, we want so much, our desires and our goals are so high, our aspirations are at such a lofty place. But aside from that, what we're called to do in the kingdom is not to be broke. It's not to not be able to help God's people when there's a need. Like, as children of God, we're supposed to be in a position to be able to help a hand and to pull somebody up. And we can't do that if we're struggling, or if we're in, dire straits, or if we're not operating from a sense of excellence, not just financially, but mentally, spiritually, emotionally, in whatever place it is, right? But it takes a level of work. We're not just going to pop up in that space, right? We have to prepare for it. We have to do the things that's necessary to get there. And what Pastor Lanre said, something that was really fantastic, that what you don't prepare for, you don't get good at. And that's so ultimately real in whatever area you're thinking about excellence, whatever area you're looking for success in. If you're not putting any time, energy, or effort into that thing, into that space, into that energy or that area, you're not going to get good at it, and you're definitely not going to get great at it. And so that's one of the things that really stood out from this message for me, was how he's laying out the blueprint and hyper focusing in on what it takes to get there.
Yep.
Nice. Sister Taylor, so you opened up earlier and you talked about how excellence is important, in your job and in your field and all the changes. Can you kind of take us back to like that first time when you got started as a pharmacist, and what it was like the first time you stepped in the door, and what steps you took, what steps you put in place to make sure that you're not in a sense, saying operating from a place of being not excellent, but or just being good at what you do, to being great and excellent at what you do. Like, talk to us about that, though, that experience.
Yeah, so that's a funny experience, because when I first became a pharmacist, I felt like I didn't know what I was doing. Imposter syndrome all the way. But by me putting in that extra time, preparing myself outside of school, and then outside of me actually working, putting in the extra hours and doing self-learning, looking at different clinical trials, looking at guidelines, preparing myself, going above and beyond when I'm looking at patients, doing all of these different things to provide myself that confidence to provide that excellent care. And I even translate that outside of work into my day-to-day life. So Pastor Lanre gave the example of steak. Him and I have a very same example of steak. I used to make steak. Oh, it was good. But then I encountered someone who gave me all of these tips on how to improve my steak. So it takes time, preparation. You have to start prepping that the day before.
Yep.
To really
marinate.
And you learn all of these things to just make things better. So steak is just a small example, but it's something that I try to translate in my life. So preparing for work, preparing for my day-to-day life, preparing for church, all of those things just help you live an excellent life. And whenever you feel like you are providing and putting excellence into the world, I feel as if you can get that energy back. People see you putting that in, they want to strive to do that. And I even see that with the church, like everyone, even speaking of the event that happened on Saturday, Ignite, I was a part of the professional session, and I just saw how much work that Aunt Linda put into it, and all of the executive board members. And you can tell by the students who were there, they felt like there was so much preparation that went into it that they wanted to really take this opportunity and learn about different professions. People come over to the healthcare side who maybe are not even interested in pharmacy or really know all of the different career avenues within pharmacy, but they're engaged, asking questions because they are trying to prepare to provide excellence throughout the world. So it's just this specific word was just, it hit home. It really did. Yeah. So it's just a very, very good message this week.
That's what I'm talking about. And I'm putting it out there right now because I'm hearing all these people talking about how good their steaks are. So, right. Melina, if you listening, Taylor, I'm putting it out to you, Pastor Lanre, whichever your son.
It's not Pastor Lanre. We don't want Pastor Lanre steak. We want the
I'm letting you know right now.
Mine is house.
I am officially demanding a steak off.
I second that. I second that.
Off. I want to know who makes the best steak up in Global Outreach Church. Nobody tops my steak. Now, Brother Toby said, man, does Dr. Jackson know how to make a steak? Clinical precision. Okay. We going to put that to the test because I haven't had your steak. I'm just saying.
I want your steak. What are you talking about? I want yours.
No, you don't. He does barbecue sauce. No,
listen. My wife is hating because she put me to a challenge. We had a cook-off, and the kids like my steak more than they like hers. So now I'm putting the challenge out there to everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Anybody wants to take me on this steak off,
Let's do it. Let's do it.
ready.
I second that. All in favor say I. Okay, there we go. That's enough. There we go. All right.
You know
All right, we got it. Motion has been
Enoch may
passed.
have to come away from school just to come and participate in this takeout.
That's right.
Since
That's
he's going to
right.
school next week.
That's right.
Motion
That's what I'm
has been
talking
passed.
about. It's on. We're gonna make that happen. We're gonna figure out a way to make that happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I would love to see that. So Sister Tania chimed in. She said, "Oh, first and foremost, Linda says, Amen." So
Yes,
shouts out
that's
to
the
Linda.
enough.
You know what
Yep,
I'm saying?
to
That's
ignite.
right. That's right. Pastor IBK said, "Bishop, quadratic formula. Please don't hurt yourself." Is it the quadratic formula or
stuff.
quadratic equation? I can't remember.
Quadratic equation.
Hey, it's been a minute. You know what I'm saying? It's
But
all
that's
good. It's all
basic.
good. You know, Pastor IBK hating. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. You know what I'm saying? This is how the hating starts. You know what I'm saying? Mama Sade Omonaiye, she says, "That's awesome, Enoch. Great point. Okay. Tania said, "Greetings, my family, from Dylan, Dason, and myself. Welcome, Enoch, and you better preach. Hey, Dr. Jackson, I miss you all. Yep. Tania tuning in. God bless you, sis. I hope you're getting that rest. What else? Uncle Owen says, excellence is not necessarily expensive, but the lack of excellence can be very expensive.
Yes.
That's a great point.
That's really good. That's
point.
really good. Sister Linda says, I'll be a judge of the state contest. That's fine. It's gonna cost you. It's gonna cost you. You know what I'm saying? You know. Listen. I would. We need judges, right? But in order to judge, you need to pay me $50. Everybody else can pay more, but pay me $50. You know what I'm saying? And you could be a judge. You could be a panelist. I'm just saying, it's all good. You know. Listen, everybody. Look, everybody's agreeing. Everybody, look at all the agreeers. Everybody's smiling in agreement. We on one accord. That's excellent. Excellence.
So I would say this: my husband always jokes with money, but he probably that $50. I'm probably gonna get $49. He's gonna get $1. Anyway,
whatever.
That's excellent behavior.
She ain't
But
touching nothing. She would excellently lose a finger touching my money. You know.
But I mean, I think Brother OM made the comment about excellence. And just basically repeating something that you said earlier, Ledum, and also what Pastor Lanre said. Excellence is not necessarily expensive, but the lack of excellence is very costly. Pastor Lanre had mentioned in the message the different things that excellence can cost you, or that excellence does cost something. It requires diligence and Taylor, you've mentioned that in your preparation for stuff. You have to be diligent. You have to give it time. You have to give it. There has to be a lot of commitment. You have to actually commit to see what you started through to show that excellent work. It requires a lot of patience, which, hallelujah, I probably need the most of. It requires money at times. I mean, it may not be expensive, but it's going to take some money sometimes to actually get the excellence, and it requires consistency. I know Ledum here is joking about the steak. He made steak one time, so he thinks he's a pro. I know Taylor, I'm sure from your experience, you know that you got to make a steak more than once to actually be very good at it. So when we do that cook-off, or that steak-off, as we're calling it, please try. Don't try Ledum and Pastor Lanre's steak. Everybody else's steak, I'll say try. Maybe but don't try his, because
you're right. You know, I totally agree with you. You don't try my steak. You engorge yourself in my steak. You know what I'm saying? You experience it. That's right. You take a piece and it's like you're traveling. Nobody tries Jamaica when they get there. They enjoy the scenery. That's all I'm saying. It's an experience. That's
it's
right.
Okay.
That's right.
And the next thing I was gonna say, I know, because we always have too much fun. Talking about, I know Pastor Lemon was talking about and Ishak himself has spoke about this also earlier. He mentioned the 4 mindsets of excellence, and we talked about the first one, which is preparation. And we talked a little bit about it. I don't know if you wanted Enoch or anyone to speak on that before we go to the next one, which was setting up standards, which is actually what I wanted to talk about a little bit.
Yeah. Enoch. Let's talk about excellence, the 4 roles of excellence, which is preparation. Let's talk about preparation. What are your, like you're going to Georgia Tech, which I believe is either number 1 or number 2
In
in
aerospace
the
too, right
nation when
now.
it comes to aerospace, which is pretty big. You know what I'm saying?
Very
What was
big.
that preparation like to get to this place?
Preparation is obviously very difficult. Like it's countless days, hours putting in work, whether it's at an internship or any extracurricular, a lot of things that I use, to put on my application for the school. It took a lot, but I would say to connect it back to the actual definition of excellence that we had. I feel like an important part in Pastor Lanre's definition is the fact that it said it costs something, because I feel like a lot of times, myself included in the past, whenever I wanted to improve at something or just get better, or like the word says, excellent, I might not change anything about myself. And I feel like an important thing that we have to realize is to go from being, good to great, or to get to that excellent level, you have to give something up. That's why we have, it says here, give up time. You have to be consistent, but you can't like stay within your current means and expect improvement. You have to step out your comfort zone. You have to put in a little extra work. So for me personally, whether that was maybe before, if I take a test, I might study the night before for 2 hours and, expect to do good. If I didn't do good that time, I'm not going to keep doing that same thing over and over again. Next time I might go to, my teacher's extra study time after school, stay behind to learn something a little extra. You have to just put in a lot of extra work in order to become excellent. So I would just say that from this, just remember that if you want to become excellent or you want to reach that level, remember that you always have to give something up or put in extra effort. You cannot stay the way you are and expect to improve in the future.
Yes.
That's really good.
Definitely.
That's really good. Brother Ishaq, any thoughts?
Yeah, that was really fantastic. And the Pastor Lanre said something in the first message. The excellent keeps you in the driver's seat of change, right? And so when you're striving for that excellence, he mentioned about like he said a saying that I really had completely twisted in my life, because I used to say I worked at restaurants a lot, and a lot of the status quo was if it ain't fixed, broke. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Right. And I worked at one restaurant that their motto was constant innovation, and they would change up the menu for a lot of the things that people loved and things that I could sell very easily. Right. And so my thing was, man, if it ain't broke, fix it till it is. Like that's kind of, that's kind of what they went. But then Pastor Lanre came in on the previous Sunday and said, no, this is really where we need to not be in this mindset at all. It needs to be, if it ain't broke, let's make sure it doesn't get broke. Like let's fix it to make sure it doesn't get to that place. And that's the mindset that, Enoch is speaking about, of, look, I don't want it to fall off the rails. I want to get to this place of excellence. I'm striving for this level of excellence. And so there is something that's required, and the change is required. But when you're striving for that, you can actually be in the driver's seat of what Pastor Lanre was saying. You don't have to necessarily respond. It doesn't have to be a reactionary. It can be a proactive thing. And a lot of times in life, when we're being proactive about things, we have better results than when we're reacting to what's already happened to us. And so, and however we're looking at it, when we are striving to be great, when we are seeking to do better, and not, first of all, this is something I feel like a lot of people sometimes have a little problem with. And Pastor Sheena mentioned it before, right? Like about the pious mindset of, I need to be extra humble and I don't need to strive for greatness. And but the word says that exceedingly and abundantly more, right? It doesn't say I'm just going to give you barely enough so that you can just make it. You know what I mean? And so if that's the way the Lord is planning on blessing us, and that's what we can expect for ourselves, and that's what we can strive for and go after. And so I think in that seeking, in that drive, and in that strive, it's fully necessary to be comfortable with change, to be looking forward to it, and to do whatever is necessary to get to the place where we're not just being stagnant, where we're not just being stationary, where we're not just resting on our laurels, but where we are continuing to do better, where the good that we have accomplished is not enough.
That's good. That's good. You know, in the IT world, we got this thing called DevOps, and in DevOps, we talk about continuous integration and continuous delivery. And this is all surrounding, you know, saying improving on an application and making sure that we deliver to our customers something that was better than what they've had before. So we're adding new features, adding different specifications or whatever. You know, you see this with your iPhone, right? Every time you pick up your iPhone, there's an update.
A new update.
You know what I'm saying? iPhone does updates like twice a week. You know what I'm saying? Like, because they're constantly in that mode of delivering. They're constantly in that mode of upgrading. Now, I'm joking. It's not every week. It feels like every week, like twice a week or something like that. But they're constantly working on upgrades. Microsoft, right? Microsoft, when you talk about your Windows system, if you, for you know, those who have laptops and use, if you have a Windows laptop or whatever, every month, I think about the second or third week of every month, there's an upgrade to your Windows platform, and that's to just prevent defects and stuff. So it's like, you know, what you had before is not sufficient for today. And what is great today is not sufficient for tomorrow. We got to continuously improve. Back into the chats, we had some comments. Let's see. Right here, we got Brother Toby. He says Taylor is a martyr of surf and turf. She is snowballing. I don't know what that means. So, you know what I'm saying? I might be kind of slow. So
all right, it's my dad.
She's from her dad. She's a master of surf and turf. She's snowballing. That's what her dad said.
Oh, master of surf and turf. Okay. All right.
It's okay.
You know
that's what happens when you don't know much about the quadratic equation. You be reading the stuff well.
Hey. Okay. Got jokes. Okay. It's cool. Do want to say that a good example of someone who does a really good job in growth development and excellence and just always innovative is my wife. Like, I remember when she first started sewing, and she would put clothes together, and I'm telling you, when she first started, it used to take her almost, wow, it probably would take her maybe about 2 weeks or something to put an item together. Now she knocks it out like in 3 hours, depending on what it is. She went from clothes to now she made purses. She does it all. I mean, anything. And then, you know, she got all these sewing machines inside the house, and I'm like, me as somebody who doesn't sew, I'm looking at like, where are all these sewing machines coming from? But then for her, because she wants to be excellent and she wants to get better, she's not just being satisfied with what she currently has. She's like, okay, there's this machine that is out there that I need to get because it's going to help me make this new thing that I need to make. So she's an example, walking example of someone who thrives in excellence and who is continuously delivering, continuously integrating, all that good stuff. Sister
Real
Florence.
It's like when I say something.
Go ahead.
Just to that point, right? To what Pastor Sheena was saying, and then also what Pastor Lanre was saying, because he brought up a couple of scriptures last week, or the week before last. And it's not just about at the workplace, it's in whatever we are doing, right? Yeah. To strive for that excellence, right? To be good is not like, we don't have to just settle for good. So that's a premium example that you just laid out, brother. I wanted to say that because it doesn't matter whether it's a hobby, whether it's a passion, whether it's like playing in the yard with the kid, whatever it is, like when we are striving to be better for ourselves. And it's not about the competition aspect of it, but we're competing with ourselves to continue to grow and to continue to become, the best versions of what it is that we can be. So that was just a great example. That's all. I just wanted to throw that in there.
Blessings.
Enoch wanted to say something. You got to say that.
Go ahead, bro.
Just to add to what Brother Ishak said, about that growth mindset and just continuing to improve. I can connect that. I feel like that goes great with Galatians 6:9, which says, "Let us not become weary in doing good." For I think it says, "For in the right time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up."
Yes.
So just similar to like we've all been saying about that, continuing striving to do better and better and better, continue to innovate and just keep putting in work. Like it's in the Bible as well, where like if you don't give up, if you continue doing good, continue doing better and better and better,
Working hard.
never give up in what you're doing and just continue to be great, that eventually we will reap a harvest. So never, it's just saying like, never give up, don't get complacent in what you're doing. Make sure that you're always doing the right thing, and eventually you will reach that harvest. You will, reap that reward. So I just want to connect that to something.
Brother
Yep.
Enoch, we're looking at maybe the third Sunday in October. Maybe you want to get up there and get a message. And I don't have permission to say that, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just, I'm
Nah,
just saying,
Enoch is gonna be preaching to
I mean,
preaching at Georgia
hint,
Tech.
hint, wink, wink, Pastor Lanre, Pastor IBK, I'm just saying, let the brother cook a little bit.
There's gonna be a
You know,
revival at Georgia Tech gonna
I'm
happen.
just
You know what I'm
saying,
There you
saying?
hey,
go.
somewhere, somehow, look,
That's
I'll
what I
show up.
believe. That's what I trust God for. You know what I'm saying?
Amen. Amen.
But real quick, Sister Florence, who is the mother of
Yep.
Enoch, she says this. Let me get this up. Let me get this up. She says, "Dang, what happened to my screen?" I tell
She
you,
said,
this is
come on, Enoch, that's my
yeah.
son!
She says
Exclamation point.
exactly. That's my son.
Yep.
That's
Hey,
right,
shout out.
Enoch. Keep preaching. That's a proud mama right there. I'm telling you, that's a
Yes.
proud mama. Um, also, also,
So,
sorry.
From
Um,
Dylan.
is it Dylan? Dylan
Yep.
next?
Yes.
Okay. What Dylan got to say? Dylan
Dylan
said,
says,
Enoch,
Enoch, you are speaking to me. Thank you, Enoch.
Enoch talking to the young people. That's what I'm talking
That's
about.
what we need.
And Toby came back, corrected himself. He said, Master, not Mata. You know what I'm saying? And then,
You can
and then
skip
of
your arch
course, my
nemesis
arch
comments.
nemesis, great. How is her excellence in sewing helping us? That's a
Uh-oh.
question.
Uh-oh.
Ooh, that's a deep
It doesn't.
question.
It doesn't. It doesn't need a. It doesn't dignify an answer. Next comments.
Brother Fidel, aka Pastor Fidel, says, no matter the applause, we still have room upstairs. We can do better than what we have done. That's right.
Amen.
That's right.
That's
That's right.
real.
Brother Toby came back. He says, one verse that I keep on my desk is Proverbs 22, verse 29.
29.
Do you see a man who excels in his work? He will stand before kings. He will stand before unknown men. That's right. That's right.
That's Pastor Shina's one of his favorite verses too. Is in his email.
Yeah. Yeah, no, seriously, that is a really great quote because here's the thing.
Yeah.
And my wife will tell you, the more you get better at something, and when you start operating at a certain level, and when you begin to excel, people take notice of what you're doing and how you're doing it, and they bring you into spaces that you normally would not have been brought in. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I can tell a whole bunch of stories about how my life and my wife's life, like, yeah, that's a really good quote. Proverbs 22, verse 29. We do
Yep.
want to get over to discussing about standards, which was like the next thing associated with with an excellence, a thriving in excellence is
Can I?
standards.
Yeah.
Before we
Real
read
quick,
that, can we just read Bra Uem's comment and then go
yes.
into that? Because Bra Uem
Sure.
actually specified the four roles of excellence. One being associated with preparation, which we already talked about, associated with standards, which we're going to talk about after this. And then he, of course, listed for excellence, everything must be open to scrutiny. And that number four, collaboration is essential for excellence, which Pastor Larry didn't get to talk about. But we're going to go to the number two, which is associated with standards. And back over to you, Mr.
Oh no,
Mando.
take it away. Take it away. This is I love
No,
it.
I mean that number two, Pastor Larry was like, excellence is the excellent mindset. You have to have standards. I was thinking about today, as you were mentioning about sewing, and I mean, like I said, this started as my sewing started as I was tired of sending measurements to Nigeria, and the tailor will argue with you that your measurements are your measurements. And I was like, look, I'm tired of that. I'm gonna teach myself how to sew. So YouTube University actually taught me how to sew. And like I said, now I'm doing other things. But I was thinking today that, you know what, I'm doing all this sewing, all these different things that are hobbies, but I have no set standards. And it reminded me of the message because you can do all this excellent work, but your standards will actually help you to define the quality. So, for example, if I'm going to, how you're saying, oh, I have different machines. I have different machines because I don't want to sew something and then someone opens up the outfit and it looks shredded inside. So I have to buy a very nice serger so my seams are clean, so that when someone sees the product, whenever I start actually producing for others, they're seeing that, okay, this work it looks a particular way. Pastor Larry used used Daniels as an example, and how he was like, no, I'm not gonna eat this and this and this. This is the food I want to eat, because he had this standard. He knew that he wanted to set himself apart, and that was him and the other three Hebrew boys that we'll talk about, that you read later. And Pastor Larry didn't mention that we should read Daniel chapter 6. So I hope people got a chance to read that. But making and setting those standards, make them achievable, but don't make them low. I was explaining to my son today, because I asked him, what is your goal for this year? And he was like, oh, I just want to pass. And I'm like, oh, Lord, we need to listen to the message, because you can't just say, I just want to pass. You had A's and B's next year. Your goal this year should be, last year. So your goal this year should be all A's, because why do you never set lower standards? And like you
Absolutely.
said, we're going from good to great. And when we get to great, we need to reevaluate and make that great our new good. So I think that's honestly what sets our standards. Are we doing, what are we gonna say is enough? Okay, if we used to say, I used to spend 2 hours reading and I'm getting particular thing, what am I gonna change in my standards to make sure that I have those standards, that like quality control? What is gonna make me know that this is where I actually want to attain to?
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with you, Salvation. Whenever Pastor Lanre was talking about standards, I took that as, these are my goals. These are goals that I set for myself to make myself excellent or provide excellent care in whatever I'm trying to do. So, and that's just anything in life. If you don't, you can have a goal, you can say, oh, I want to do this, but you have no plan, no roadmap to get there. How are you actually going to achieve it? So by setting these standards and holding ourselves accountable for achieving these standards, are how we can provide excellence and actually show that the excellence that we're providing has true quality behind it. I think it also kind of goes into the next part of accepting scrutiny, or having constructive criticism that can be given towards you. A lot of times we don't want, we can sometimes take it in a negative way, but if someone is providing scrutiny or providing any type of constructive criticism, it's only in a way to help you succeed, to provide excellence. So if we have those standards that are set and that everyone understands what the standards are, then in actuality, we may not have as much scrutiny or constructive criticism if we are set in following our standards. So I think the standards piece was also a huge part that I'm glad that we're able to listen to. I wish we were able to get more into the scrutiny as well as collaboration piece, but hopefully that's in another message coming soon.
Yep.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Sister Linda says, I love that it's pointed out that it's not only in workplace, but our relationships are also something we can strive towards excellence in. And then of course, Brother Toby says, one of my favorite quotes regarding standards is from the HBO show The Wire, where the character says, a man gotta have a code. I like that. That's you know what? All right, I'm a big fan of The Wire, so I'm gonna let
that's why I love Toby, because he always relates what he's learning biblically to life. I love humans that are balanced, that are really living a spiritual life, earthly, and you can still relate to them. They're not, as I would say, heavenly minded, no earthly good. Thank you, Toby. I appreciate it. I appreciate you.
It's good.
And Enoch. Sorry.
When I think about that particular quote, and it's so true, when you have standards, people know who you are, and that's why I think it's really good that he pointed it. That's an aspect of excellence, that when you have standards, people know what you will do and what you will not do. They know how to gauge you. And so I thought that was point, because where the quote came from in the movie, in the series The Wire, was an individual who was he was basically like a stick-up kid. Like he was known for robbing people, but he had a standard about who he would rob and who he would not rob. So when it came time to him getting arrested and now having to answer for the consequences of his lifestyle, right? One of the things he pointed out is that he didn't do this particular crime because he has a code. Mm-hmm. Everybody appreciates and understands a person who walks by a particular code. So Pastor Lanre talked about our code at Global Outreach, the fact that we serve in excellence, that we, saying that we're kind to one another and that we love God passionately. That's our code, And so when we talk about walking in standards, we're walking in that so that when people say, hey, you guys did this or you guys didn't do that. Well, this is our code. This is what we operate by. This is our standard. This is what you can hold us guilty of. This is what you cannot hold us guilty of. And it's like something to strive towards, our core values, our code. Anybody else want to hop in on that?
Yeah. What I want to say is when you talk about standards, it actually reminds me of something that Uncle Lee, you taught us in class. I think it was last year when we were going into we talked about the book of Psalms, Psalms chapter 1. And it says, blessed is the one who does not walk in step with the wicked or stand the way that sinners take, but whose delight is in the law of the Lord. And I feel like when we're looking at standards, a way to simplify it for myself that I think about it is I'm a child of God, so everything that I'm doing should be done to glorify God's name. And if I'm not following in step with what God would want me to do, then that's obviously wrong. So that's how I look at standards. I would set it as, think about it as you're a child of God, and in everything that you're doing, does this glorify God's name? Does someone see me doing this, and can they thank my God, serve my God for things like that? At the end of Psalm chapter 1 and verse 6, it says, for the Lord watches over the way of the righteous, but the way of the wicked leads to destruction.
Will not prosper.
So it's like, for me, it's just really simple. Like, if you are, following in step with what God wants you to do, he's going to watch over you. And if the Lord's watching over you, everything that you're going to do is going to prosper. Whereas if you're not walking in step with the Lord wants you to do, if you're in step with the wicked, then that way is going to lead you to destruction. So when it comes to standards, it's obviously very important in route to excellence, because if you don't have a standard for yourself, if you're not following in God's path and in the footsteps that God laid for us, then nothing that you ever do can succeed. That's how I think about it.
That's good. I like that. I like that a lot. Real quick, so that's actually very excellent. And I like the point about Psalms that you brought up, because I think there's no better encapsulation of what it looks like to operate from that space. Sister Tania put in the comments, standards provide quality. And that's what Pastor Lanre said in the message. The standards always define quality. He also said that standards are a model, a measure, or a known of what you're evaluating your life with. And so I think about that from like, I got kids, and, I've got 2 daughters and 2 boys, and my boys are going to have to grow to be men, and my daughters are going to have to grow to be women, and they're going to go look for men. Right. And so it's, how am I operating on a day in and day out basis? What standard of measurement am I providing for them on what a man is supposed to be, on what a husband is supposed to look like, on what a child of God is supposed to operate like? And so there's so much involved with it, and there's so much importance, especially once we get to the point of like parenting, that the standards are beyond just the standards that I've set for myself. I'm looking at the standards that I want set for my kids, and they're going to make their own standards, but they have to have an example to base it off of. Right. And so, like Pastor Lanre was mentioning about how there's no competition with others, right? That's, jealousy and all these other different things. But there is a standard, there's a basis of competition for myself, right? And how can I be a better person? Because one day my daughter's going to have a husband, right?
Yes, right.
And I want him to be a better person than the standard that I've set. So I got to throw my bar all the way to the moon. You know what I mean? So that, you know, she's not going to be willing to tolerate anything less than that, right? And so, and that's perfectly okay. We need to have these standards, and for my boys too. You know, for my wife, it's like, look, no, there is a standard that has to be set. You know, you're not just going to be willing to deal with or to operate with or to camaraderie with anything that's just out here willy nilly and cause you to slip up. There's got to be a mark. There's got to be, and that mark needs to be in the examples that Christ put out for us. You know what I mean? Because just to your point, Enoch, like if you are out here in the world operating with whatever standards the world says is okay, then you're doomed for failure. But if we have our mark set higher, then we will get there. So I just wanted to say that.
Oh, that's powerful, man. That's powerful. Anybody else? I like that. That's good stuff. Taylor, talk to me. Standards, you know what I'm saying? Like how does, you know, how do standards apply to you in your walk with God and your relationships, all that good stuff?
Yeah, so kind of piggybacking off of what Enoch said and having standards that you set for yourself that also follow what God wants for us. That's how I try to live my life. I don't try to let outside influence adjust what the standards I've set for myself in my personal life as well as in my professional life. Like with standards, even with healthcare, we have standards of care that we have to follow. And if we're not following these things, we are going to have negative consequences or negative outcomes. But having that standard of care allows everyone to know that we are going to provide that quality work. So in addition with my standard of care that I try to employ with my position, also taking into what my standards are that God kind of wants me to walk through. So it's always a work in progress, right? There's always going to be outside influences, things that try to knock you off your path, knock you off of the standards that you have set. But having that strong mind, that strong will in knowing who you are and knowing whose you are, taking a from Toby, that will allow you to continue on that walk. So it's just a work in progress day to day. You know, it's not something that I can say I've fully mastered, which I'm sure no one has, but it's something that I continue to strive for every day. And even if my goals or standards change based on what my goals are in life or what I want to provide excellence in, I still hold those core values.
That's good. That's good. Brittany in the chat, she says, well said, Taylor. You know what I'm saying? Good stuff, good stuff. Tania says, amen.
Yeah.
She says, and yeah, we so here's what's interesting. You know, our standards, when we talk about how we live and we govern our lives, our standards are centered on Christ. And which means that we have a lot to live up to in a sense, but also that but that in a sense we can also appreciate the fact that Christ is our standard in the sense that we know that we could be secure in him because this is his standard. He is not someone who waffles and wavers and changes with the seasons and stuff like that. He is constant. He is the same. He remains the same. And so therefore, when we're in him, we know that we have a sense of security and not have to be concerned about what will happen tomorrow. We know that we're secure in someone who is the standard, should I say. Good stuff. Good stuff. Any last comments? We're winding down. Brother Enoch, any last comments? Anything you want to say?
Not in particular. Just once again, thank you guys for having me. I like the conversation, and I also like the way I'm able to obviously hear the message one time at church, but then also kind of break it down and apply it to daily life.
That's right. Yep. That's right. We say, saying tell your friends, tell all your friends, man, and we really appreciate you, coming on board and helping us out this Wednesday. And man, wish you the best. Enoch is heading to school this Saturday. He's moving into his dorm, and so good stuff. Good stuff. All right, Salvation. Talk to me.
I said we may catch you there on Saturday when you're going into your residence halls. But excellence is definitely achievable. We can do it. Set our standards. Prepare. It didn't take one day to build anything. So just little by little, keep working on it, and you will get there. Just trust God and trust in yourself.
Awesome. Thank you for that, brother Etop.
Man, Pastor Lanre said something that was really awesome, and the excellence, the strive for excellence kind of fitted in. Is people don't receive what you have because you have a good thing; they receive it because of how you serve it. And so, as we're continuing to strive to serve with excellence in whatever it is that we're doing, that's going to be the biggest testimony, or the biggest, as he said in the first message, the biggest advertisement for what it is and for how good God actually is. So, yeah.
Cool. Sister Taylor. Any final thoughts?
Final thoughts. I just echo what everyone has said. I think this was a great discussion today, and we'll continue to apply this to our day-to-day lives.
All right. We're closing out. I just want to say, God bless everyone. Brother Toby says, best of luck at GT. Brother Enoch, saying we are proud of you. And, God is good. And so because of God's goodness, I look forward to seeing you guys next week, Wednesday, for another tune-up. Also this Sunday, pounds, hugs, all that good stuff in person. If you can make it out to Global Outreach Church, we'd love to see you there. On that note, peace.
Good night.
God bless.
Peace.
You've been watching The Tune-Up. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this Bible study. And until next week, don't forget to check in and get your tune-up.